Joined now by Bill Richardson, the former New Mexico governor, our trade representative, energy secretary. Quite the resume. Governor, good to have you. How do you think that looks? For whatever reason, if you opt out of attending one of these events, they all have, I'm sure, their reasons, but that doesn't look good, does it?
Well, you know, I attended 13 as a member of Congress and a couple more as a cabinet members. I think the State of the Union is a great example of American democracy. I never would boycott. They have their own reasons. You know, Congressman John Lewis, I know, is one of them on civil rights grounds. I personally feel that one should always honor American democracy, be bipartisan. The State of the Union is a great example where a president can appeal to the other party and find ways that you can work together. And I hope that's what happens tonight. Look, there's going to be hissing. There's going to be some kind of protest. That always happens, no matter who's president. But my hope is that it's a unifying State of the Union. And I hope the president reaches out to Democrats, to my party, to people that disagree with him. That's my hope.
Do you get a sense that with the infrastructure push the president will make tonight, that he can do that without advocating for a hike in the federal gas tax? Every Democrat I talk to, sir, says no. Every Republican so far I talked to tonight says, yeah, he can go ahead with a plan like that without hiking the federal gas tax. What do you say?
Well, unlike immigration, national security issues, I think infrastructure is the one area where there can be common ground. If you have a combination of federal funds with state funds, with also the private sector, public-private partnerships, I think that we would have an economy that could sustain a deal like that. I think there's a great opportunity if the president is ready on federal funding to put down some money from the federal government, incentivize it with the private sector, incentivize it through tax incentives. I think it's a very possible compromise, and we do need a new electric grid modernized. We need bridges. We need roads. We need an infrastructure that is going to restore, I think, America's physical plant, which has been neglected for years. And I don't even think you need a gas tax, Neil. I think you can do it with creative financial partnerships.
The relationships and the ill will on the Hill are legendary, and they're not unique to this president. They seem to have gone on for quite some time. When you worked for Bill Clinton, I'm sure you remember some episodes. So can the two parties work together, especially now with this big agenda slated in, of all things, a midterm election year that could get very nasty?
Well, I think a lot is up to the president. Look, the burden is also on the Democrats. I think the big issue is going to be immigration, Neil, and I worry that the president is going to turn to his base instead of a sensible immigration plan that says, okay, we do a dreamer's deal in exchange for border security, and then move on to other issues that perhaps on the immigration front there can be common ground. I, for instance, think that this issue of the chain migration, I think we want to keep families, keep the system the way it is, but maybe there is a common ground. On this visa lottery, maybe there is common ground, but not find the dreamers as bargaining chips, not say to the dreamers, there's 800,000 of them, Neil. A lot of them are soldiers, they're teachers, they abide by the law, they pay taxes.
No doubt, but do you think that they should be used as a chit in a government breakdown and a government shutdown?
Well, I think I would have stood behind the dreamers. I think there was a way you could have avoided the government shutdown, merging other issues. But I think what's important is the president, if he touts an immigration compromise tonight, that he stick with it, because what happens, Neil, is he goes back to his base. His base gets mad at him on immigration. No, you got to keep the dreamers out. You got to build the wall. I think a sensible compromise.
And the same with the base on the other side, right? The same with the base on the other side. You got to stick by the dreamers. You got to
find common ground. And
Gotcha.
it's really the president runs the government right now. He's the leader of the government. The tone and the policies he sets are going to be key. And I want him to succeed, but he makes it difficult.
All right. Well, you know, it takes two to make it difficult, I guess, right? Bill Richardson, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.